Just move on. The other way is, when your phone starts ringing, don't pick it up. You are not obligated. Worth writing down. Every bad decision that I feel like I've made in the last 7 years has come out of obligation. I'm writing a book called Prosperity Was Never Meant to Be a Struggle. And I wrote it, it's like 2 chapters. It was like, 1, never do anything out of obligation again. And then 2 was something like, stop doing things because you think other people will approve. And that was it. And I was like, I don't think I have to tell you. I mean, if you do those 2 things, you can live a pretty prosperous life, right? Now, number 2 is, so we have thoughts. We just conquered thoughts. Heather, can you give me my 30, where's Heather? I mean, you got Heidi and Heather. You guys are awesome. Just let me know when I'm halfway, or am I already halfway? Okay, cool. Sweet. All right, so thoughts. So we covered thoughts. This is what we call like a triangle. Now, this is how you move from being a victim. So you manage your thoughts. Little trick is this. Oh, and I wanted to read a little thing. How many of you know who Dennis Waitley is? Dennis Waitley? Psychology of Winning. Worth getting. Worth reading. Worth sticking under your children's bed at night for osmosis. Katie, you were messing around with my iPad. I don't know where it's all at. Did I lose it? Hold on. He has an awesome poem. Here it is. No, it's not it. There it is. He calls it My Little Robot. And he says, here's the poem. I have a little robot that goes around with me. I tell him what I'm thinking. I tell him what I see. I tell my little robot all my hopes and fears. He listens and remembers all my joys and tears. At first, my little robot followed my command, but after years of training, he's gotten out of hand. He doesn't care what's right or wrong or what's false or true. No matter what I try now, he tells me what to do. Does that sound familiar, right? So how do we interrupt that pattern? Very, very simple. Is that negative thought, you can do a couple things. One is you can turn it into a Mickey Mouse tonality. You know, like if you're like, oh, dude, I'm such a loser, or I could never do that. Just turn it into a Mickey Mouse tonality. Think about one thing that like you say to yourself that limits your pattern. I see the smile starting to happen because you're doing it. It's like, oh, I'm such a loser. It happens right away. Or if you have a voice from like the past that scares you, or someone told you like you'll never be anything when you grow up, just turn it into a Mickey Mouse tonality. Like, you are never going to be successful. Just put like, you are never going to be successful. And then put a red nose on the person in your mind and then shatter the image. I promise you it will go away. The other thing you do is just say stop. Like stop. And say, I am great, I'm wonderful, I can do anything I put my mind to. And that is, you create affirmations and you start saying things to yourself about yourself on who you want to become and what you want to believe, and you start taking control of that. Now, that's your thoughts. The next thing I want to share with you is, by the way, let me see. Let's see. We're going to skip that one for time's sake. The next thing is physiology. What do you notice about successful people on how they walk and how they move that's different than people who are depressed, anxious, stressed? Oh my God, my life's a mess. You can see it a mile away, can't you? What's the difference? Someone over here is like, you're like, hey, how are things going? They're like, well, I'm just getting by. I'm like, all right, see you later. But what do you notice about them? Let's just interrupt the pattern, because here's the thing. Not even show of hands, but how many can understand, like, there's times where you feel stressed, right? There's times where you feel anxious. There's times where you allow yourself, listen to my languaging, to even feel or allow yourself to act depressed, right? And 99 out of 100 times, the way you move from that emotional state to one of happiness and power and control, it's always the same strategy. You will always move from there to here in the same way. You just don't know it because you haven't thought about it. It's never been brought to your awareness. There's two things that'll happen. One is this. If everybody in the room sits like this for a second, put your head down to your right and be like, And if I was going to be depressed, how would I breathe? Would I breathe like full and vibrant, or would it be like shallow and crappy? Shallow and crappy. Do you feel the difference instantly just by doing that? Okay, now put your head up, and now take a deep breath. Now stick your hands up like this. Put a smile on your face and go, ah. Okay, that's really crazy, actually.